Hi, welcome to Social Research Insights. The mission of Social Research Insights is to promote open source tools for data analytics for both academics and corporate research needs. This is in fact part number 5 of my series of presentations on Introduction to R language. In my previous video, I explained a few functions that helps us to search for the functions or objects that are available through R language for data analysis. I also told you that often I encounter this question that people ask me, how do you know that there is something in R language to perform data analysis? Because when we open R language, it is a clean it is blank and having no clues to as how to perform the data analysis. Unlike rest of the software suites, where we have the pull down menus to perform the data analysis, just like in SPSS. But in R it is not like that. We need to do some basic exercise before we perform data analysis. In this video I am going to talk about accessing help. So every programming language will be having an excellent mechanisms to help to access help for the procedures. Since our language is a language of functions, so we'll be using the functions in order to perform the data analysis. We have to know how to use help mechanisms in order to educate ourselves as how to use the functions for data analysis. The help system in our language is rather more systematic. There are two types of help mechanisms that will be executed by two other ways. We have internal search mechanisms, we have external search mechanisms, and we have the internal resources and external resources, and internal display and external display. Just like I have kept here very clearly. For example, internal resources and internal display, internal external resources and external display, internal resources and external display, external resources and internal display. So this is how it goes. I try to do more clearly. For example, we have the internal and external, and the resources and display. So we have the internal display with internal resources, and we have the internal display for external resources, and we have the mechanisms to go for the external display that's all, external display with external resources. So these are the three different ways. In black color, that is internal, and red color, the cross, internal versus external, and blue color, external. So we have the internal, extremely internal to extremely external. Okay, we have internal resources and internal display. We have internal resources and external display, internal resources and external display with red color. We have the external resources with external display, that is the blue color. So for the internal resources, first one, the internal resources and internal display, we have a wonderful mechanism called question mark, so which we can use simply in the browser. In our console, we can just simply use question mark just before the function to browse for the help files for internal resources and internal display. And for the internal resources, the internal display and external resources, we have double question mark. So when we use double question mark, actually the R will try to display the internally the external resources. And for the third one, external resources and external display, we have two mechanisms. I mean, we have two different functions: R site search with so we just have to use the parenthesis, and we have to keep the particular the function that we are searching for we, expecting help. And the another one is R seek .org. This is extremely external. Okay, this is actually the external display, external resources. This is external display, external resources, and this is internal display and external resources. Okay, so I think I'm not confusing. It is rather more systematic. It is not as difficult as I am explaining through this session, but when you start practicing, I'm sure that you will be having more delight while accessing the help in our language. So these are in precise we have the commands that we need to use in order to access the help. So I already have this. Say for example, if I wanted to know something about correlation, so I want to do some correlation analysis, and I would like to I don't know anything about how to perform correlation analysis. I want to access the help. So what I do, I just press question mark, type the question mark, and followed by correlation. So when I press enter, control enter, so there will be an internal sorry, there is no documentation for correlation in specified package, and because there is no function inside our language right now which is installed in my machine. So in internal database there is no function called correlation, so R cannot understand this such string correlation. So we have a function called car, isn't it? So when we press control enter, I'm sure this time R will try to retrieve some data from the internal database. This is actually the data which is available through the database which is installed by default when I installed our language. So here, as I said, we just straight away read something here, pick up some statements, but straight away go to the example, and here you can try to understand how to use the function car. See here, car is used as a function to do some correlation analysis. So this way we can, this is internal resources and internal display. Okay, and the next one, the internal display and external resources, double question. So here the internal display and internal resources. Okay, the external resources, I'm sorry. So you have to go for the double question mark. This time you can use correlation because this is external resource. It doesn't matter, you need not worry about the particularity of such string. This time R might retrieve some certain resources that appears to be very close to the word that we are searching for. So control enter, and this time I'm sure you must be able to get some information here, the right side. Yes, see here, I like this command double question mark because it has lot of information, abundant of information related to your search string. I like this because there are PDF resources, and there is source code, and there is also R code. So when you for example, let's go through the first link, that is beta reg ext, extended beta regression in R, and this is actually perhaps this is the title of the manual, PDF manual regarding the regression, but it is now the correlation, but somehow more or less it is very closely the closely related to correlation. Let's go for the PDF. I mean, I click on PDF, and the R try to download that PDF and display in my internal PDF browser. So this is actually the resource which is available for that particular which is linked to the first resource. Extended beta regression is not shaken, stirred, mixed and partitioned. So we can simply read this manual and try to understand the regression. Perhaps somewhere there'll be some, there might have been few I mean there might be some description for correlation, I don't know, otherwise it will not be displayed in this browser, the internal browser or browser. So there might be somewhere there might be some worthy description for correlation, because correlation and regression are one way or the other way related with each other. So we might find some help on correlation in that document. You can also go to the other links that are displayed in search results here, and we have the source, and this is the PDF source. You can just export this code. This is actually LaTeX code. You can export this code into your in case if you have the LaTeX distribution in your machine. If you already installed, as I already mentioned in my previous video, that we prepare the reports in R through LaTeX distribution. So we must have LaTeX distribution installed in our machine in case if we would like to create some reports. So we can export this LaTeX code and compile the file, and we can get the same PDF file that we are looking right now in the PDF application. Okay, and this is the code, and let's go back and see what else is available in there is also R code. We can click on this. So this is R code. This is actually R script file. You can just go to the particular, you can just execute all this by simply pressing I think this is a text file. We can copy this to the R script file here, R script file, and later we can simply practice as we are doing in our language, R Studio. So that is the beauty of this this method. So we can just pick up. These are called vignettes, and these PDF files together with our source code, and these are called vignettes, and rather R is more interesting because of the vignettes which are available for the reader information. And next, the code demonstrations. This run demo in console, this is rather more advanced mechanisms of help system in R. You can just press this, and R will try to execute the code in R console, and you are seeing now how the graphs are displayed after R executed the code. So that is the rather more dynamic way of I'm sure that this kind of mechanisms are not available either through SAS or through Scilab or any other proprietary software suites for data analysis. That is the beauty of our language. So that is why I mentioned in the beginning of my video that there is a systematic the system to access help in R. So there are other help pages. There are so many resources for doing correlation analysis. We can just go through, so you see how many. It is so much for any user to read this help information and understand as how to do correlation in our language. So this is the second method. I'm going to the third method. This is rather the same. It does in same way as we have used the single question mark, and this comes in the same other procedure like internal resources and internal display, the question mark. So it is the same way we did by using the single question mark. You just have to press OK, and you will be having a help file. Here I am trying to search for information about a method called mean, to compute the arithmetic mean, and it will try to retrieve the information from the internal database as we did by using the single question mark. So that is why we call this as internal search, internal resources and internal display. Okay, And there is another method called R site search. This is external resources but internal display. Sorry, the external resources and external display. See the last one, external resources and external display, the last one, R site search. So what happens when we execute this command? Actually, R submit a query, but more interestingly, the resources are retrieved from a unique source called rproject.org. So as I mentioned in my previous in my one of the videos before, rproject.org is one of the official portal where most of the main activity regarding our language takes place. You can just go to the browser and go for the rproject.org. You'll go to the official repository or the portal of our project, our language. So there are so many resources on rproject.org on this portal, and those resources will be retrieved for the user information. Let's see what's going to happen when we press Ctrl Enter. So R now submits a query. You can see that very clearly here. R search query has been submitted to http the search rproject.org, and now the resources that are lying on this portal or repository will be retrieved for after executing that statement or site search. Here I am trying to search. I would like to get the help for executing a function called lm. As I explained in my previous videos, lm is a function which helps us to do simple linear regression. See, these are the sources that are available through rproject.org. So what else we need? We have, is there any software suite where we have such a dynamic mechanisms to access help? I'm sure it is not. These are the resources that are. You can just click on the resource and you will be directed to that manual page where there is some description regarding the linear model, the object which is known as LM, which stands for linear modeling. Okay, so you can just straight away go to down for example, and where you can pick up a couple of examples, try to understand how to write the code to perform regression. And I'm sure it is just a matter of common sense, and common sense that we can, I mean, anybody can understand as a matter of common sense, and they can understand how to perform regression. Go back to our language. Here you write that code, or you can just copy this code, the statement by statement, and paste it in the console and verify as how or executes this code to perform linear regression. Okay, and the last one is the external. As I said, external. We have to post the query in external repository, and the results will be external. This is rather the very advanced mechanism. The first two are not so advanced. These are the basic ways of, and the last two are advanced, and the last one is the extreme last example is the very advanced mechanism to access the help in our language. So what we have to do, we just have to go to rseek.org in browser, rseek.org in browser, and we'll be redirected to a portal. It is actually an extended a Google search window. The rseek actually using the Google search engine, which is there behind the screen, and it only retrieves the information related to R, so nothing else. In Google, what happens when we search for correlation in R, so it will go where not everywhere. It will try to retrieve the data from all sources lying globally. But in rseek, what happens, it will try to search only related to R. So in Google search, at times we may encounter the links that are not related to R, but there is no chance that might happen here through RSeek. So when you press correlation, it will try to get the resources only related to R language. So quick R, correlation, linear regression, R bloggers. So something like that. Non-parametric methods for study, the R bloggers. Maybe some, the official repositories that are tutor, some universities, and certain I mean, whatever the link is officially maintained and straight away related to the R. So this is actually developed by some certain, I don't know the individual. It must be a professor who is working in say here Google custom search. You can see that very clearly. And there are so many arrangements like for beginners, packages, articles, books. So this is the advantage of using rseek.org. When we access the help, we'll be having manifold research, like all encompassing, the search encompassing all resources and the support. Only information regarding the support and books, articles available for this search string correlation, packages. See here the polyglot is a package which will help us to do the correlation analysis adjacently, subsequently plotting the graphs. And for beginners, it will show quicker is for beginners. They can just go to this place and read something about correlation and try to do that code in R language. And so these are basically the mechanisms available for seeking help in R, which is very, very important for beginners. Thank you.